I think at this point, people are just fed up with PlayStation and their BS because it just seems like every time you hear about PlayStation, like anything news related, it's basically just it's always something negative, you know. Like recently, there's been a massive outage, and I know that's something that's unfortunate. It's not necessarily their fault, but at the same time, it's just it further justifies as to why they have no business doing some of the things they do, like ending physical media or taking like 500 plus movies off of their network, stuff that people paid for, or jacking up the prices of certain games for no reason, or trying to like monopolize things. It's just I just feel like there's just so many like issues with Sony, and it's just like 2026 alone. I mean, I feel like there's been issues with Sony that's been building for years. Like I think there was like a string of lawsuits that they've been involved in, like dating back to like 2021, just like antitrust related, monopoly related, just like all kinds of stuff with Sony and with PlayStation. And the crazy thing is, like, PlayStation has been considered like the number one brand in relation to like video game consoles for like the past 30 years. And Sony is not what it was like 10 years ago when it comes to producing video game consoles. A lot of people feel like PlayStation 4 may have been like the last really good console. Don't get me wrong, PlayStation 5 is cool, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's quite as popular as the PS4 was, because the PS4 had more high profile, first party games that was massively successful, years after they were released. And I don't know, I just feel like this outage, it's something that it's going to get fixed, but at the same time, it's something that's going to leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. At this point, I'm convinced that people are going to boycott the PlayStation 6 when it comes out in 2028, unless Sony decides to change their mind about ending physical media. But but yeah, gamers have been, furious with Sony, like for the most part, like throughout like 2026 since it started, and the year's not even over yet. I know next year's supposed to be big for like high profile video game releases, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I'm not exactly sure whether or not like PlayStation 5 is going to stand out in particular. The Switch 2 is something that is starting to become more popular, because it came out like a year ago, and it's something that's more, I guess, affordable for the time being. Um, Also, like, Xbox is not as popular as it used to be, like it was back in the 360 days. But, with the new CEO and the restructuring of the company, um, I don't know, we could see a turnaround, and Xbox could end up being the preferred brand for like customers and gamers who want a console where they can play both first party and third party games on. And I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like PlayStation in general is just losing its luster, and I don't think it's going to be as popular as it was like back in the PS1, PS2, or even the PS3 days. Um, yeah, I honestly feel like the PlayStation network is definitely not going to be the same a couple of years from now. It's not going to be as fun. I feel like it's going to be more costly. It's going to be more restrictive, and while digital download only sounds like convenient and whatever, it's just, I don't know, you won't own nothing through digital downloads or anything like that. So yeah, it just seems like just a string of unpopular decisions made by Sony is something that is actually like hurting the PlayStation brand. And I feel like this outage definitely doesn't do PlayStation or Sony any favors at all.